May 15th, 2024. 7:23 p.m. Cristiano Ronaldo was reading bedtime stories to his 7-year-old twins, Eva and Matteo, when Eva suddenly asked a question that made his blood run cold. Papa, why don't me and Matteo have a real mom like the other kids at school?
Cristiano froze.
He'd known this conversation would come eventually. Just not today. Not like this. What he told his twins that night, how he explained surrogacy to two 7-year-olds, and what his daughter said that broke him completely. This is that story. A story about modern families, biological truths, and what it really means to be a mother. May 15th, 2024. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Bedtime in the Ronaldo household. Cristiano had just finished training and recovery. It was his turn to put the twins to bed. Eva and Matteo, born June 8, 2017, through a surrogate in the United States. Identical twins. Well, not identical since one was a boy and one was a girl, but born together. Cristiano's biological children, though their birth mother was a mystery even to him. The arrangement had been through an agency. Anonymous surrogate. No contact. No information exchanged. Just a legal contract and two beautiful babies at the end. Cristiano had his reasons for choosing this path. Control. Privacy. Independence. At the time, it seemed like the perfect solution. He could have children without the complications of a relationship. Could be a single father on his own terms. But he'd always known there would be questions. As the kids grew older. As they started understanding families. As they noticed they were different. He just hadn't expected the questions tonight. Hadn't prepared for this moment. Thought he had more time. They were in the twins' shared bedroom. Eva's side was pink and purple, covered in drawings and stuffed animals. Matteo's side was blue and green, full of toy cars and footballs. Two sides of one room. Two kids sharing everything. Including, apparently, the same burning question. Cristiano had just finished reading their favorite story, The Gruffalo, and was about to turn off the lights when Eva sat up in her bed. Papa, can I ask you something?
Cristiano smiled.
Of course, Princessa. What is it? Eva looked at her twin brother, as if gathering courage, then back at her father. Why don't me and Matteo have a real mom like the other kids at school? The room went silent. Cristiano felt his heart start pounding. What do you mean, baby? You have Mama Gio. You have Georgina. Eva shook her head. But she's not our real mom. She's Alana's real mom. She came from Mama Joe's belly. But we didn't. We came from somewhere else. And nobody talks about it. Matteo, who'd been quiet until now, added his voice. At school, they asked us who our mom was. And we said Mama Gio. But then they asked if she was our real mom or our stepmom. And we didn't know what to say. Eva continued. And then Sophia said her mom told her that we don't have a real mom. That we came from a surrogate. What's a surrogate, Papa? Cristiano sat down slowly, on Eva's bed. His hands were shaking slightly. This was the conversation. The one he'd been avoiding. The one Georgina had warned him was coming. You need to tell them the truth before someone else does, she'd said months ago. But he'd kept putting it off. Kept hoping it could wait. Until they were older. Until they could understand. But 7-year-olds were asking questions. And they deserved answers. Okay, Cristiano said, taking a breath. Let me explain. But it's a little complicated. Can you both listen carefully? The twins nodded, sitting up in their beds, giving him their full attention. Cristiano tried to find the right words. Simple enough for 7-year-olds. True enough to honor their story. Kind enough to not hurt them. You're right, he began. You and Matteo didn't come from Georgina's belly. You came from a different woman's belly. A woman who helped Papa have babies when Papa wanted children but didn't have a partner yet. Eva interrupted. So we do have a real mom? Where is she? Why doesn't she live with us? This was the hard part. Well, she's not really your mom. Not in the way you think. She's someone who carried you for 9 months and helped you be born. But she's not part of our family. We don't know her. We've never met her. Matteo looked confused. How can someone carry us and not be our mom? Moms are the people who carry babies. That's what school taught us.
Cristiano najdid.
Usually yes, but sometimes it's different. Sometimes there are women who help other people have babies. They're called surrogates. They carry the baby for 9 months, but the baby isn't theirs. The baby belongs to the people who wanted the baby. In this case, Papa wanted you. So, even though this woman carried you, you were always mine. You were always meant to be part of this family. Eva processed this slowly. So, she grew us, but didn't want us? The pain in her voice killed Cristiano. No, baby, no. It's not that she didn't want you. It's that she did this as a gift.
As a job.
To help people who wanted babies. She probably has her own family. Her own children. She did this to help Papa have you. But why don't we know her name?
Matteo asked.
Why can't we meet her?
Cristiano strangled.
Because that was the agreement. Some surrogates want to stay anonymous. Want privacy. Don't want to be part of the child's life. And Papa respected that. Respected her choice to help but stay separate. Eva's eyes filled with tears. Does that mean we don't have a mom at all? We just have you and Mama Gio, who's not really our mom? And there it was. The fear underneath the question. The worry that they were somehow incomplete. Somehow less than. Somehow missing a fundamental piece that other kids had. Cristiano pulled Eva onto his lap and gestured for Matteo to come close. Listen to me. Both of you. Very carefully. You have a mom. You absolutely have a mom. Her name is Georgina. She might not have carried you in her belly, but she has been your mama since you were babies.
She feeds you.
She loves you. She takes care of you when you're sick. She celebrates with you when you're happy. She cries when you cry. She's your mom in every way that matters. But she's not our real mom, Eva insisted, tears streaming now. Real moms are the ones whose belly you come from. That's what makes them real. Cristiano felt his heart breaking. Because his daughter was right and wrong at the same time. Right that biology matters. Wrong that it's all that matters. How do you explain to a 7-year-old that family is more than DNA? What he said next would determine how his twins understood their identity, their family, and their worth for the rest of their lives. Cristiano looked at his twins, both crying now, both feeling the weight of being different from other kids. He needed to make this right, needed to help them understand. Okay, he said gently. Let me tell you a story about how families are made.
Can I do that?
The twins nodded, wiping their eyes. A long time ago, Cristiano began, people thought families could only be made one way. A mom and a dad fall in love. They have a baby together. The baby grows in the mom's belly. That's a family. And for a long time, that was the only kind of family people knew. He paused. But then something happened. People realized that love makes families. Not just biology. Not just whose belly you came from. Love. Matteo interrupted. But Papa, everyone at school has a mom from their belly. We're the only ones who don't.
Cristiano najdid.
Maybe in your class. But in the world, there are millions of children who have different kinds of families. Some kids are adopted. That means they grew in one woman's belly, but another woman raises them as their child. Some kids have 2 moms. Some kids have 2 dads. Some kids, like Cristiano Jr., have a father they know but a mother they've never met. And some kids, like you too, came from a surrogate. Eva looked up at him. Are all those kids sad like us? Because they're different. Cristiano shook his head firmly. No, baby. They're not sad. Because different doesn't mean wrong. Different doesn't mean less. Different just means different. And here's what you need to understand. The woman who carried you did an amazing thing. She gave Papa the greatest gifts of his life. You too. But carrying you didn't make her your mother. Loving you makes someone your mother. He turned to Eva. When you fell and broke your arm last year, who stayed with you at the hospital all night?
Eva sniffled, Mga Jo. Cristiano najdid.
When you're scared at night, who comes and sits with you until you fall asleep?
Eva thud, Mga Jo.
Cristiano continued. When you're happy about something at school, who's the first person you want to tell? Eva's voice was small. Mama Gio. Cristiano turned to Matteo. When you were sick with the flu last month, who took care of you? Who made you soup and read you stories and checked your temperature?
Mateo answered quietly, Mama Jo.
Cristiano pressed on. When you score a goal in your matches, who cheers the loudest? Who's always there watching? Mateo smiled slightly. Mama Gio. That's a mother, Cristiano said firmly. Not the woman who carried you for 9 months and never met you. The woman who has been there every single day since you were born. The woman who loves you like you're her own. The woman who would do anything for you. That's your real mother. Biology is just science. Love is what makes family real. Eva looked torn. But Papa, at school they said biology is what makes people family. They said if you don't share DNA with someone, they're not really your family. Cristiano felt a flash of anger. Not at his daughter. At whoever taught her that. Who said that? Eva shrugged. Some of the kids. And one of the teachers talked about genes and how kids look like their parents because of DNA. Cristiano took a breath. They're not wrong about DNA. You do share DNA with me. That's why you have my eyes, my nose, my coloring. But you don't share DNA with Georgina. And that's okay. Because DNA is just one small piece of what makes a family. The bigger pieces?
Love. Commitment.
Showing up every day. Choosing each other. Those things matter so much more. Mateo asked quietly, do you think the lady who carried us ever thinks about us? Ever wonders what we look like? And there it was. The question Cristiano had been dreading. Because the truth was he had no idea. The surrogacy had been completely anonymous. He didn't know her name. Didn't know anything about her. Couldn't contact her even if he wanted to. And he had no way of knowing if she ever thought about the twins she carried. I don't know, buddy, Cristiano answered honestly. I hope she knows you're happy. I hope she knows you're loved. I hope she knows the gift she gave us is cherished. But I don't know if she thinks about you. And even if she does, it doesn't change who your real mother is. Georgina is your real mother. The woman who chose to love you every single day since you were born. Eva wasn't convinced yet. But Papa, she's Alana's mom. Her real mom, because Alana came from her belly. So how can she be our real mom when we didn't? Cristiano understood the logic. In a child's mind, if Georgina was Alana's real mom through biology, then she couldn't equally be Eva and Mateo's real mom without biology. Let me ask you something, Cristiano said. Do you love Mama Gio? Both twins nodded vigorously. Does she love you?
They nodded again.
Does she love you less than she loves Alana? Both twins paused, thinking carefully. Eva spoke first. No. She loves us the same. Mateo agreed. Yeah, she treats us all the same.
Cristiano smiled. Exactly.
Because love doesn't work like biology. Biology means you share genes. But love is a choice. Georgina chose to be your mother. She didn't have to. When Papa met her, he already had 3 children, Cristiano Jr., you Eva, and you Mateo. She could have said, I only want to be with you, not your kids. But she didn't. She met you when you were babies and fell in love with you. Chose to be your mother. And that choice makes her just as real, just as important, as any biological mother. What Georgina said when she walked in on this conversation would prove Cristiano's point in the most powerful way. The bedroom door opened. Georgina stood there in her pajamas, clearly having heard the conversation from the hallway. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. Cristiano looked at her apologetically. Gio, but she held up her hand, stopping him. She walked into the room and sat on Eva's bed, facing both twins. I heard what you asked, Papa, Georgina said softly. About whether I'm your real mom. The twins looked down, embarrassed. We didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Mama Gio, Eva whispered. Georgina pulled Eva into a hug. You didn't hurt my feelings, baby. You asked an honest question. And you deserve an honest answer. She took a breath, gathering herself. You're right. I didn't carry you in my belly. You didn't grow inside my body. Alana did. And I remember every moment of that pregnancy. Every kick. Every movement. It was magical. And when Alana was born, I thought this is the most incredible feeling in the world. Being a mother. But you know what? She looked between Eva and Matteo. I was wrong. The twins looked confused. Georgina continued, because 2 months after Alana was born, Papa introduced me to you too. You were just a few months old. Tiny.
Perfect.
And I held Eva first. And the moment I held you, Eva, I felt it. That mother feeling. That I would die for this child feeling. And I thought, wait, that can't be right. She's not mine. She didn't come from me. But the feeling didn't care. It was there anyway. Tears were streaming down Georgina's face now. And then I held you, Matteo. And the same thing happened. This overwhelming love. This protective instinct. This feeling of, you're mine. You're my son. And I tried to fight it. Try to tell myself, no, they're Cristiano's children. You're just his girlfriend. Don't get too attached. But it was too late. I was already attached. Already in love. Already your mother. Eva asked quietly, really? Georgina nodded. Really? And here's what you need to understand. I didn't choose to love Alana. That love came automatically because she grew inside me. But you too? I chose to love you. I chose to be your mother. And to me, that's even more special. Because I looked at 2 babies that didn't come from me, that had no biological connection to me, and I said, these are my children. I'm going to love them and protect them and be their mother forever. That's a choice. A decision. A commitment. Matteo looked skeptical. But don't you wish we came from your belly? Like Alana? Georgina smiled sadly. Honestly? Sometimes, yes. When people ask about your birth, and I have to explain surrogacy. When people make comments about how you don't look like me. When moments like this happen where you question if I'm really your mother. In those moments, I wish I had the simple answer. The biology answer. The yes, they're mine because I carried them answer. She continued. But most of the time?
No.
Because the way we became family is our story. It's unique. It's special. And it taught me that motherhood isn't about pregnancy. It's about showing up. Every day. When you're sick. When you're sad. When you're happy. When you're scared. That's motherhood. And I've been showing up for you every day since you were babies. That makes me your real mother. Eva looked between Georgina and Cristiano. Papa said the same thing. That love makes family, not just biology. Georgina nodded.
Papa's right.
And you know what else? I have something to tell you. Something I've never told anyone except Papa. The twins leaned in, curious. Georgina's voice shook. When I found out I was pregnant with Alana, I was scared. Scared I wouldn't be a good mother because I'd never done it before. And Papa said something that changed everything. He said, you're already a mother. You've been mothering Eva and Matteo for over a year. You know how to do this. And he was right. You too taught me how to be a mother. Before Alana was even born, you taught me how to love unconditionally. How to put someone else's needs before my own. How to be patient and kind and strong. You made me a mother. She looked directly at Eva. So when you ask if I'm your real mother, the answer is yes. More real than you know. Because you made me into one. She turned to Matteo. And I love you just as much as I love Alana.
Just as much as I love Bella.
The same. Equally.
Completely.
You are my children. Biology doesn't change that. Eva threw her arms around Georgina and started crying. I love you, Mama Gio. I'm sorry I said you weren't my real mom. Georgina held her tight. Shuh, baby. You don't need to apologize. You were trying to understand. That's okay. That's normal. Matteo joined the hug, and Cristiano wrapped his arms around all of them. They stayed like that for several minutes, just holding each other. A family, not defined by DNA.
But by choice.
By love. By commitment. Finally, they pulled apart. The twins climbed back into their beds. Georgina tucked them in. Do you understand now? She asked gently. Both twins nodded. But Eva had one more question. The question that would open up an entirely new conversation.
Mama Jo?
Do you think the lady who carried us was nice? Do you think she loved us when we were in her belly? What Georgina answered would shape how the twins understood their origin story forever. Georgina looked at Cristiano, silently asking permission.
He nodded.
This was a conversation they'd have to navigate together. Georgina turned back to Eva. That's a beautiful question, baby. And the truth is, we don't know her. We've never met her. But I can tell you what I think. She settled into the bed more comfortably. I think she was very kind, Georgina began. Because being a surrogate is hard. You carry a baby for 9 months. Feel it growing. Feel it moving. Bond with it in a way. And then you give birth and hand that baby to someone else. That takes incredible strength and generosity. So yes, I think she was kind. I think she probably did love you in her own way while you were growing inside her. Matteo asked, then why did she give us away? If she loved us. Cristiano jumped in. She didn't give you away like she didn't want you. She fulfilled a promise. She had agreed to carry you for Papa, to help Papa have children. And when you were born, she did exactly what she promised. She gave you to the person you were always meant to be with.
Me.
And then, through me, to all of us, to this family. Eva thought about this. Do you think she misses us? Georgina answered carefully. I don't know, sweetheart. She might think about you sometimes. Wonder how you're doing. Wonder what you look like now. Or she might have moved on with her life, knowing she did a good thing, and now it's complete. We just don't know. And that's okay. Will we ever meet her? Matteo asked. Cristiano shook his head. Probably not. The arrangement was anonymous. That means she doesn't know who you are, and we don't know who she is. It was designed that way for privacy. For everyone's protection. Eva looked sad. So we'll never know our real biological mom? Georgina corrected gently. Your biological birth mother. That's different from your real mother. Your real mother is sitting right here. She smiled. But yes, you probably won't know your birth mother. And I know that might feel sad. It's okay to feel sad about it. It's okay to wonder about her. It's okay to have questions. What should we call her? Eva asked. If she's not our mom, but she carried us, what is she?
Cristiano thought about it.
Some people call them birth mother. Some people call them surrogate. Some people just call them the woman who helped create our family. You can call her whatever feels right to you. Matteo said thoughtfully, I think I'll call her the nice lady who grew us for Papa. Georgina smiled. That's perfect, Matteo. Eva added, and we can call Mama Gio our real mom because she chose us. Cristiano felt his chest tighten with emotion. Exactly right, Princessa. There was a comfortable silence. Then Eva asked another question. Papa, why did you use a surrogate? Why didn't you just wait until you met Mama Gio and have babies with her? It was a fair question, and one that deserved an honest answer. Cristiano looked at Georgina, who nodded encouragingly. When I decided to have you too, Cristiano explained, I wasn't with Mama Gio yet.
We hadn't met.
And I wanted children. I wanted a big family. I already had Cristiano Jr., and I wanted more. But I wasn't in a relationship. Didn't have a partner. So I made a choice. To have children on my own with the help of a surrogate. At the time, it seemed like the best decision. Do you regret it? Eva asked bluntly. Cristiano shook his head immediately. Never. Not for 1 second. Because that decision gave me you. You two are the best thing that ever happened to me. Even if the way you came into this world was unconventional, it was perfect. Because it brought you to me. Georgina added. And then it brought you to me. Because if Papa hadn't had you already when we met, we might not have fallen in love the way we did. You two were part of what made me love your father. Seeing him with you as babies, being such a good dad, that's when I knew he was special. Matteo asked, so we helped you fall in love? Georgina laughed. Yes, actually. You did. Both twins beamed with pride. Then Eva asked what would become the most important question of the night. Mama Gio, can I tell you something? Anything, baby. Eva took a breath. At school, when kids ask who my mom is, can I just say you? Without explaining the whole surrogate thing? because it's confusing and people don't understand, and I just want to say my mom is Georgina, and not have to explain. Georgina's eyes filled with tears again.
Of course you can.
You don't owe anyone your story. You don't have to explain your family to anyone. If someone asks who your mother is, you say Georgina Rodriguez. That's it. That's the truth. Everything else is private. Family business. Eva smiled with relief. Thank you, Mama. The simple use of Mama instead of Mama Gio made Georgina start crying happy tears. She pulled Eva into another hug. Matteo looked at his father. Papa, can I ask you something?
Cristiano najdid.
Do you think the nice lady who grew us is proud of us? Proud of who we're becoming?
Cristiano smiled.
I hope so, buddy. I really hope so. Because you two are incredible. Kind, smart, funny, loving. Any mother, biological or chosen, would be proud to claim you as theirs. Matteo seemed satisfied with that answer. The conversation was winding down. The twins were getting sleepy. But Georgina had one more thing to say. Something important. Something that would define how this family moved forward. Georgina looked at both twins seriously. I need to make you both a promise. Okay. They nodded, paying attention. I promise that we will never lie to you about your story, about how you came into this world. If you have questions about surrogacy, about your birth, about the biological mother who carried you, you can always ask. We'll answer honestly. Age-appropriately, but honestly. She continued, and I promise that I will never make you feel like you have to choose between her and me. Like you have to pretend she doesn't exist to make me feel better. She was part of your story. She gave you life. And I'm grateful to her. I don't feel threatened by her. I don't feel like she takes away from me being your mother.
She gave birth to you.
I'm raising you. Both can be true. Cristiano added. And Papa promises that if, when you're older, you want to try to find her, to meet her, to know her, I'll help you. I'll hire people to track down the surrogacy agency. See if she's willing to be contacted. I won't stand in your way. Because your story is your story. And you have the right to know all of it if you want to.
Eva looked surprised.
Really? You'd help us find her?
Cristiano najdid.
If that's what you want, yes. When you're old enough. Maybe when you're 18. Maybe when you're 25. Whenever you're ready. But I want you to know it's an option. You're not cut off from that part of your history. Matteo asked, what if we find her and she doesn't want to know us? Georgina answered gently, then that would be very sad. And it would hurt. But it wouldn't change who you are. Wouldn't change your worth. Wouldn't change that you're loved. Some people aren't ready or able to have relationships with the children they helped bring into the world. And that's about them, not about you. What if we find her and we like her more than Mama Gio? Eva asked, voicing a fear so honest to hurt. Georgina didn't flinch. Then I'd be sad. I won't lie. It would break my heart. But Eva, I've been your mother for 7 years. I've earned that relationship. I've built that bond. One meeting with a biological stranger wouldn't erase that. Love isn't a competition. You can have feelings for her and still love me. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. Cristiano was impressed by Georgina's maturity, her security, her willingness to be vulnerable while still being strong. But here's what I want you to understand, Georgina said, looking between the twins. Right now you're 7. These are big, complicated feelings. It's normal to be curious about your birth mother. It's normal to wonder. It's normal to have questions. But you don't have to figure it all out right now. You don't have to decide how you feel about her, about me, about any of this. She smiled warmly. You're kids. You should be playing, learning, laughing, not worrying about adult concepts like surrogacy and biological connections and chosen families. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be honest when you ask questions. We're going to make sure you know you're loved. And we're going to let you be kids. Okay. Both twins nodded, looking relieved. Matteo yawned. Eva rubbed her eyes. It was late. They'd been talking for over an hour, way past bedtime. Cristiano stood up. Okay, time for sleep. For real this time. He tucked in Matteo. Georgina tucked in Eva. They both kissed their children goodnight. As they were about to leave, Eva called out, "Mama?"
Papa.
They turned. "Can we do something tomorrow?" Eva asked. "What's that, baby?" Georgina replied. Eva looked at her twin brother, then back at her parents. "Can we take a family picture? All of us together? And put it in our room? So when people ask about our family, we can show them?" Georgina's voice caught. "Of course we can, sweetheart." Eva smiled. "And in the picture, can I call you Mama instead of Mama Gio? I don't think I need the Gio part anymore." Georgina broke down crying. Happy tears. "Yes, baby. You can call me Mama. Just Mama. I'd like that very much." Cristiano turned off the light, but in the doorway he paused. "Eva? Matteo?" They both mumbled sleepily. "Yeah, Papa?" He smiled in the darkness. "I'm proud of you. For asking hard questions. For being brave enough to talk about your feelings. For being open. That takes courage. And I love you both so much." "Love you too, Papa," they chorused. Cristiano and Georgina left the room, closing the door softly. In the hallway, they looked at each other. Georgina whispered, "That was intense." Cristiano pulled her into his arms. "You were perfect. Thank you for being their mother. Their real mother." Georgina hugged him back. "They're my kids. All of them.
Alana, Eva, Matteo, Bella, Mine.
Biology doesn't change that." They stood there for a moment, holding each other. Then Georgina pulled back. "You know this conversation isn't over, right? They'll have more questions. As they get older, hit puberty, start understanding more. This is just the beginning."
Cristiano Naidid.
"I know, but we'll handle it. Together. As a family." Georgina smiled. As a family. They walked to their own bedroom. But the conversation had stirred something in Cristiano. A question he'd been avoiding. A decision he'd been putting off. And what he decided to do next would give his twins something he'd never thought possible. 2 days later, Cristiano sat in his office. In front of him was his laptop. On the screen, a draft email to the surrogacy agency that had arranged Eva and Matteo's birth 7 years ago. His hands hovered over the keyboard. What he was about to do was risky. Might not work. Might open a can of worms. But after that conversation with the twins, he felt he had to try. He started typing,